My name is Nice Linus. I'm a 300 level student of the University of Ibadan. So, about the protests that have happened, that have been happening, the protest of August the 29th, August the 30th, August the 31st, the protest of July 16th and 17th, and the protests that will be happening in coming days. We are protesting simply because we have seen how that the government's ploy is to commercialize education totally, to take away access to education from the poor man. And we are the poor in question. We want to go to school. We want the betterment of our future. We do not want to go into society and become thugs, armed robbers, kidnappers who would threaten the lives of other people. We rather want to contribute to the progress of society, which is why we are saying that the answer to our problem, the problem of inadequate funding of education, because it is inadequate funding of education that has led to the fee hike that ravages public universities. And we say that the problem, we say confidently, knowingly, that the answer to that problem is not begging. The answer to that problem is not student loan. The answer to the problem is rather adequate funding of education, which is the sole duty of the government, which is why we are calling on the government through our protests, calling on the government, calling on the management, that what we want is a total reversal of fees to the status quo. It is not too much to ask that the poor man should go to school. That is the list of social services that can be given to the poor man, because it is not just a thing of personal development, it is a thing of national development, which every country should in. Pride in the fact that you are contributing to the lives of your citizens. Pride in the fact that you are contributing to the educational sector. But that is not the case in Nigeria. And as students, we are very concerned about this, which is why we continue to protest until our demands are met. And our demands, once again, are that fees be totally reversed in the University of Ibadan, and that much more the government should fund the educational system, public education adequately in Nigeria. Thank you.
Lawali, a student of the Department of Functional Language Arts 300 level. So, talk about UI FIAC struggle. So the FIAC started some months ago when we resumed the first semester, when UI increased the fee from 25,000, 24,000 to as much as 20,000 upwards. So since then, we have been facing the challenge, and we have been trying to get the school management and the federal government to reduce the fee to the status quo. But then, all our efforts since then have been yielding results, which are not enough, and we still want to make more efforts so that more results will be yielded. So we had some protests some weeks ago, and the school was closed. The school was closed and was to be resumed. The school was closed for 3 weeks, and all students were asked to vacate the campus. The vacation is lapsed, and students are to resume school tomorrow. And tomorrow there will be a protest to further fight against the school fee hike. We want our demands are that we want the fees to be referred to the status quo. We want adequate funding of education from the federal government, because education is a social service and it should not be a commodity. We don't want education to be taken away from the hands of the common man like us. We don't want people to drop out because they cannot afford education, because the school is built by through our collective money, through the taxpayers' money, and everybody should be able to afford it. So we want the UI3, we want them to stop their victimization. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Adua Ayodele. I'm a 300 level student of the University of Ibadan studying history. The situation at the University of Ibadan as it stands remains that the management and the government, to be particular, have not heeded our call, have not heeded to student plight. Student demands at the University of Ibadan includes total reversal of fees, adequate funding of public education, as well as end to the trend of victimization at the University of Ibadan. We want the government particularly to fund the education sector than it has been doing, which is the root problem of the current uh, uh, trend or situation at the University of Ibadan and within the country at large. We also want the management and the government as co-collaborators to revert their decision to inflate fees outrageously at the University of Ibadan. Students at the University of Ibadan pay about 20-something thousand naira bundled fee previously. And the summation of what students paid previously was also something unbearable for many. If the university would therefore decide to increase fees from what we pay that was quite unbearable before for some students, and then it would therefore decide to increase fees to as high as 200,000 or approximately 300,000 for some students. It simply means the university do not want or does not want these students within its premises and is therefore making education inaccessible. So our agitation at the University of Ibadan as it stands is to demand accessibility, affordability, and even quality education that every Nigerian deserves. Also, students are also rejecting the attempt by the university authority, headed by Professor Kayode Adebowale, who alleged gross misconduct on 3 students for protesting peacefully against fee hike on Monday, May 13, at the swearing-in ceremony of the student union. Students are calling on the management to rescind on its plan to get the students suspended or expelled, as the case may be. And that's simply because at the very moment, the 3 students are facing student disciplinary committee. The truth is that they have no reasons to be there, of which I am one of. We have no reason to be at the SUB, long as the demonstration of Monday, May 13 was non-disruptive or is peaceful. So we are calling on the management of the University of Ibadan to look into students' plight and begin to make its character come in tune with students' demands. UI students are not troublemakers. UI students are students who are bred in character and in learning. And the idea of students, for example, dissenting or protesting tomorrow, Friday, September 28th, is as a result of what we have also learned in the class. When tradition is lacking, when the values of our educational system as a country is lacking, the onus lie on citizens, and in our case, students, to speak up and express dissent to get the system reset as the case should be. So ultimately, we want adequate funding of public education. The budgetary allocation is so poor, and it is the root cause of the problem in Nigeria. We also want end to the trumped-up charges against Adua Ayodele, Nice Linus, Olamide Gbadegesin, who are students who peacefully demonstrated on Monday, May 13. And we want adequate supply of electricity, among other things students of the University of Ibadan have been demanding. Thank you.